Hi everyone, I'm Tina Dietz and welcome to beautiful Costa Rica. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to take a fabulous destination training in a modality or class that's really important to you in a gorgeous location like this, then I'm here as your guide to show you exactly how to make the most out of your time and money. Let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome again to Training in Paradise, a video guide to destination training in Costa Rica. I'm really excited to share all of this with you today. I love Costa Rica. I love destination training. I'm very familiar with both because of living in the country and having done training with companies from all over the world in more than 20 different industries for, oh my God, almost the last 20 years. So I'm going to be able to give you a bunch of information today. Of course, there's always going to be more, but at the end, I will also give you information on how to contact me for more information and also get some additional questions answered if we don't cover it in today's video. What we are going to cover today are 5 points. We're going to talk about what to do when you arrive in Costa Rica, the unexpected benefits of destination training, tips for making the most of your time and money, yay, what you can expect to get out of your destination training, and how to get your other questions answered, and links to additional resources and information, as I mentioned a minute ago. Before we get into the other material, let's talk about Costa Rica itself. Costa Rica is the smallest country in Central America. It is not an island. It is between Panama in the south and Nicaragua in the north. The capital is San Jose, which you can see in the center, which is located in what's called the Central Valley, which is the higher elevations of Costa Rica. One of the things I personally love about Costa Rica is that there are 7 climate zones. So you can go from beach to cloud forest in the matter of a day's drive. It is a very small country. It's really only about the size of West Virginia. And distances are a bit deceiving. So for example, to get from where I am here on the coast, up here in the northern Pacific side of the country, to, let's say, Alajuela, it's about a 4-hour drive. So distances can be a little deceiving in Costa Rica. If you think it's going to take you as long as it would take you to get somewhere in the United States or Canada driving on the interstate, think again. Most of the roads in Costa Rica are very good, but they're still not 4 and 5 and 6 lane highways. Some of those are being built, but more likely you're going to find a 2-lane divided highway throughout most of the country and most of what are called highways here in Costa Rica. So make sure that you check with a local or someone who's experienced, or even Google Maps will give you a fairly accurate estimate of driving time. Don't base it on the distance when you're planning on traveling. There are 2 airports in Costa Rica, one near San Jose, the other near Liberia. They are both very good airports. You can definitely fly into either one. For the course I'm going to use as an example today to discuss, we're going to be talking about the Liberia airport. In other courses, you may find that you're flying into San Jose. San Jose is going to be more adjacent to locations like Jaco, Capos, Dominical, Uvita, down this coast. Also, you're not going to find a lot of activity happening over here on the Caribbean coast. It is not very developed, with the exception of Limon, which is a port city and not somewhere I would recommend most people visit. A lot of sailors, a lot of issues with that, so yeah, stay away from Limon. And Puerto Viejo, which is absolutely stunningly gorgeous from what I understand, just a little, challenging, a little rustic to get to, but hey, if you're coming to Costa Rica, you might as well come for some adventure, right? Most of the country is very, very accessible. Some of my favorite places are here on the Nicoya Peninsula, which is considered one of the blue zones in the world, the place where people live the healthiest and live the longest. It is stunningly, stunningly gorgeous. There really is something about the air in this region. Playa Samara here and Nicoya are just absolutely fantastic beaches, beautiful places to go, fantastic people everywhere. And of course, I live up here near Sardinal on the beach, so I have the beach literally about a 3-minute walk from my front door, which, hey, I can't really argue with that, can I? Okay, so that's a little lay of the land in Costa Rica. Let's move on. When you get to Costa Rica, and there's me and my family getting onto the shuttle bus there, there's a couple of things that I recommend. You're going to have to arrange some kind of transportation. Usually what I recommend is that you go ahead and rent a car for at least your first day or two until you really get the lay of the land. There are lots and lots of buses in Costa Rica. The bus system is actually really great, and I'm including 2 links here to find out bus schedules and information. But that can be quite overwhelming when you first arrive in a new country. So it's nice to have the comfort of just having a rental car so that you can travel around and explore and know where you're going. Of course, the hotel that you're staying at may also have a shuttle, so you can check into that as well. Taxis are available also all over Costa Rica. You want to look mostly for a taxi that is a licensed taxi. You can recognize those because the car is either going to be bright red or it's going to be bright orange, and it's going to have a licensure symbol on one of the doors that's going to be a circle or a triangular shape. And all of those taxis are regulated. They're safe to drive in. They'll all charge you the same rates. Folks in Costa Rica are generally very polite and very honest. I have never had an issue here in Costa Rica, with the exception of one snarky cab driver who is not driving a licensed cab. So you can pretty much guarantee you're going to have a decent experience if you are in one of those licensed, regulated cabs. So a couple of things about renting a car in Costa Rica that are different than the US or Canada. First of all, your insurance, your regular car insurance, is probably not going to cover you in Costa Rica. So there is mandatory insurance that is required here, and there is also a mandatory deductible that's required here. So you can expect to have a hold placed on your credit card. It won't charge it for about $1,000. So whatever credit card you're using, make sure that it has enough room on it for the $1,000 hold, as well as whatever the amount is that you're renting the car for, which you're going to find for a small vehicle about $35, $38 a day with all of your taxes and fees included. If you go on a website and you see cars for $10 or $15 a day, they're running big specials, those prices are not including all of the mandatory fees and insurance that are required here. So it can be a bit deceiving. Make sure you always ask for a final price, including all taxes, fees, and insurance. There's also an additional fee per driver. If you're going to have more than one person drive the car, there's an additional fee per person per day. Okay, so those are things to watch out for when you're renting a car. Again, it's little pieces of inside information that can make all the difference. Most of the major car carriers, car rental agencies that you're familiar with do operate in Costa Rica. They'll pick you right up from the airport and take you to their facility, get you a car, and get you on your way, give you a map, and purvey you right into the experience. As for buses, most buses do not have terminals right at the airport in Liberia. You can find buses close to the airport in San Jose. So if you're flying into Liberia, do not expect to have access to the buses from the airport. And of course, you want to be able to stay in touch. So let's talk communication for a minute. Internet is everywhere in Costa Rica. I have found that it's easier to get free Wi-Fi in Costa Rica than it is in many places in the United States. I recently lived in Florida for a while, and it was almost impossible to find free Wi-Fi. But in Costa Rica, you can find it pretty much everywhere. If you have an American cell phone, you're not going to be able to work here in Costa Rica unless you have an international plan that specifically covers Costa Rica. What I more recommend is, if you're not under a contract with your phone and you can get your phone unlocked and you're going to be in Costa Rica for at least a week, you can go to one of the small stores that are all over Costa Rica that take care of cell phones and buy a SIM card for Costa Rica and have it put into your phone. These SIM cards cost about $2 and you can do pay as you go. You can recharge the minutes, which cover your minutes, your texting, and your internet service on your phone from pretty much any grocery store in Costa Rica. So, you buy some bananas, you buy some milk, you buy some minutes, and it's very inexpensive to do so. I've never spent more than $20 a month on my phone here in Costa Rica, and that includes having data. So that's really, really nice. The three providers in Costa Rica that you're going to see the most of are Colby, Claro, and Movistar. Going back to internet for a moment, anytime you walk into a restaurant or a store and you go onto your phone and you see that there is a Wi-Fi connection, simply ask the person behind the desk or your wait staff if you can have the password to the Wi-Fi. They're generally more than happy to give it to you. I've never had anybody say no. And of course, most hotels are going to have Wi-Fi all over their property as well. Most hotels are not going to have an extra charge for guests staying at their hotel, or to be honest, even guests of guests. Like I said, it's a very open country when it comes to Wi-Fi. You're not going to have the same speed and you're not going to have the same strength of signal that you're used to in North America. So don't plan on doing a lot of uploading and downloading from your phone. It will slow things down. Same thing with your laptop. Bring your laptop if you'd like to. There's electricity to plug into everywhere. You can sit in a coffee shop and work just like you would in a Starbucks, except much nicer here. So go ahead and do all of that, and you don't need any special adapters for electricity. You don't need to be concerned about, plugging into the walls or anything like that. It's pretty much just like North America. Now, for the example I'm going to be using today as I'm going through, because I'm going to use a specific course that I have upcoming to give you some examples of what to look for and what to ask, we're going to talk about Playa Hermosa. Now, there are 3 Playa Hermosas in Costa Rica. The one I'm talking about is just outside of Liberia in that Guanacaste region. Other locations in Costa Rica that host destination training may be on a different beach. They might be up in the mountains. Be very specific when you're looking for a destination training and find out, what's around that area, what's the transportation like, and how far are the distances. Because as I mentioned before, distances can be deceiving when you're looking at a map. Now, Playa Hermosa is one of my favorite beaches in Costa Rica. It's quiet, it's intimate, it's got a lot of cool little restaurants and stuff on the beach. And on Playa Hermosa, again, you're going to have tons of Wi-Fi access. Most of the little hotels on the beach are also going to have a pool facing the beach itself. So you can switch back and forth between hanging out on the beach and jumping in the pool while you're at the restaurant. It's very open. Nobody has to worry about, shoes and shirt and service and everything. Everyone's in a bathing suit and doing what they want to do. There are restaurants all up and down the beach, very good ones, lots of great food, lots of ocean views. If you can have high-end food and pay $20 a person, you can have delightful snacks and pay $10 a person for a meal. And everything is going to be pretty much locally sourced and very, very fresh. One of the things I love here is the freshness of the vegetables that you get when you're out to restaurants. It's a marked difference from what I've noticed in the United States and Canada and other places in the world. Now, Playa Hermosa, again, is a small beach. It's not built up. In Costa Rica, they don't build high-rises on the beach. There are laws against that. So everything's very small and very intimate, which I personally absolutely love. The pictures you're seeing on the screen here are from the hotel where my next upcoming destination training is being held, which is called Villa del Sueños. You'll see the links to that at the end so you can find out more information. You can see the pool right outside the main building and a picture of one of the lovely little rooms there. As for excursions, excursions are something you definitely want to take advantage of while you're here. Anywhere you go in Costa Rica, there are going to be tour companies. Some are better than others. Ask the folks at your hotel about good ones, but you can also book directly with the tour provider. Many times you're going through additional middlemen when you are going through different agencies and things like that, and that can add on to the cost. Also, what adds on to the cost here in Costa Rica in general, and this is a tip for pretty much everything in Costa Rica in general. I'll go into more depth in this in terms of making your time and money tips in a little while. But how much things cost in Costa Rica largely depends on the season that you're here. There is a green season and a dry season in Costa Rica. And I highly recommend traveling here during the green season. It's a little bit cooler, it's more lush. I like it a lot better than the dry season, even though the dry season here tends to be what's called high season. The dry season tends to have higher prices in Costa Rica. The green season tends to have lower costs in Costa Rica. The absolute least expensive time to travel in Costa Rica is October. October is very slow in Costa Rica for the tourist season, but it's my absolute favorite time of year. Now, Playa Hermosa doesn't have a crazy bar and club scene. There's very cool places to go out at night. You can definitely go out for cocktails and conversation and have a great time. But Playa Hermosa is also right next to Playa del Coco. Little beaches just string right together here in the Guanacaste region. And it's a 10-minute cab ride. It costs you about $10. You can even split it among your friends if you got people going with you. And you can bop right over to Playa Coco, which is a larger town that has multiple bars, multiple clubs, additional restaurants, big grocery stores, and all kinds of other amenities that you can get to at the drop of a hat. So nothing is very far away here in Costa Rica. You pretty much are going to have everything you need at your fingertips. And of course, shopping. Shopping here, you're not going to find, crazy dirt cheap prices here. You're going to find, if you're a tourist, they're going to want to charge you American prices for things. There's not a lot of haggling that goes on here like you might find if you were on a Caribbean island or say in Mexico. Most of the time you're going to find the price is the price, except in the green season. In the green season, folks can be a bit more negotiable. Things aren't going to be outrageously priced either, but don't come down here expecting to be able to buy gems and jewelry and all of that like you would on a cruise for dirt cheap prices. It's a bit more of a everyday experience, not a, rock bottom sales experience. Let's talk about the unexpected and delightful benefits of destination training. Now, the first thing we think about with destination training, of course, is, well, if you're going to go somewhere, then you might as well go somewhere beautiful, right? And combine your vacation with additional training, which, if you own your own business, makes the entire trip tax deductible. Naturally, you want to check with your accountant in your state or province, wherever you live, and find out the legalities of that. But in general, at least part, if not all of your trip is going to be a tax deduction. Yay! But way beyond that, my background as a therapist, I do a lot of work with not only psychology but neurology in the coaching work I do with businesses. And what I love about destination training in that sense is that with destination training, you tend to get higher retention of the material. A relaxed mind is a learning mind. You have positive associations with the learning, so you're more likely to retain it. And you spend more time immersed in the modality and immersed in the experience. If you take a training at home and you're trying to fit it in among your everyday life, you have your everyday distractions. What you need to do for the kids, what are you making for dinner? Are you going to be able to fit that client in after the training later tonight? It's very distracting. When you focus on just learning a new modality or new information, then you're going to be able to develop deeper connections in your brain to retain that material. Meeting new colleagues is a benefit that I can't stress enough. It can be lonely being out there on your own. I mean, some folks, they work with a group of people and they have team and all of that. But Most folks who are small business owners tend to feel a bit isolated, and meeting new colleagues who are doing what you're doing, who can relate to what you're doing, who can bring fresh ideas to the table, things maybe you haven't thought of, resources you didn't know about, can completely renew your career and your business sense. Absolutely fantastic. And that goes along with creating a new mindset. The average career span for a massage therapist, for example, is 5 to 7 years. And this is usually due to either injury, mental burnout, or financial burnout. You have to keep yourself fresh and learning, which is why you want to do a destination training in the first place, bring something new to your practice and to your table. But moreover, it's about you. It's about you bringing more to the table for yourself so that you can keep going, you can keep yourself fresh, and you can keep yourself, not going down that path of boredom and burnout and injury and all of that good stuff. You want to make the most of your time and investment. I'm going to give you some tips to do that. Get every drop of goodness. I'm also going to reiterate a few things a little later when we talk about what questions to ask when you're considering a destination training. Here are some do's and don'ts. Do extend your stay here. You've already come this far. Why not take a few extra days or even an extra week to explore? The investment isn't that much more to extend your stay than it is to get here in the first place. Any country or any major location you go to is going to have a lot of rich experience for you to benefit from. So plan on staying at least a couple of extra days, if not a week, and make the most of the experience. Do invite others to play too. It can be even better if you invite down a colleague so that you have someone to practice with, and of all the things you've learned, we want to increase your retention and you want to implement the things that you've learned. So if you have a colleague with you that you're going to be able to practice with after the training, it's going to make that all the much better for you, making the most of your time and money investment. Definitely plan to unplug. I've had people on destination trainings make the mistake of thinking that they were going to be able to simultaneously be trained and also use the time as a retreat for themselves to finish a project. Do not do that. Trying to split your attention is an exercise in frustration. And if you're running around trying to figure out how to return a phone call, coordinate a project, take clients over the phone, or having to return a lot of emails, it's going to really dilute your experience. And again, it's going to decrease the amount of brain space you have to retain the information about what you're learning. Do ask questions. This is the part where you give yourself permission to unleash your inner 5-year-old. Ask all the questions you want and need to ask before the training, during the training, and after the training. Go ahead. Most people don't ask enough questions. And a lot of instructors, myself included, will find themselves saying, geez, I wish they would ask more questions. And talk to strangers. I give you permission to talk to strangers, especially here in Costa Rica. Talk to the expats that you meet. Find out more about why they came and what they do. Talk to your new colleagues, the other people in your course. Develop relationships with them. It has the feel of summer camp when you're at a destination training. You can form deep relationships very quickly in these scenarios. Take advantage of that opportunity. Get into it. And also, don't be afraid to talk to the Costa Rican folks who are all around. Have conversations. Costa Rican people love to share. They're super friendly. They're great people. They're very family oriented. And, you can find out a lot of good stuff here about the country, and English is widely spoken. Bring your beginner's mind. Let go of expectations, how you think it should go, how you think it has to go, and go with the flow. Trust the process. Once you've gotten your questions answered and you've committed to a particular training, you have to trust that you're going to get the most out of it and be very responsible for getting the most out of it as well. But bring your beginner's mind and allow yourself to explore, and don't make mountains out of molehills. Here's my only don't for you. Don't cram and jam. Don't try to shove a million things into your experience. Savor it. Take it moment by moment. Allow yourself breathing space inside of the experience. You want to absorb as much of the training as possible, and you want to integrate it at the same time. So allow yourself quiet time as well as the fun experiences that you're going to have. But, take some time every day to integrate, to journal, to walk on the beach or in the woods, to do some deep breathing or do some morning yoga or whatever it is that you do to help integrate the information that you're absorbing. And don't try to shove a million things in. You're here to relax and you're here to learn. And that's their two primary goals. As they say, stop and smell the flowers. This is a tree outside of my condominium that I absolutely love. Soak up some luxury. Quite literally, this is the largest pool I've ever seen. This is at my friend's house. And there are places, little gems like this all over Costa Rica. And like I said, it's a pretty open country. So you can find some wonderful things to just feel like you're luxuriating in the sun. Embrace the waves. And this is down at Manuel Antonio, and this is a catamaran boat, and my favorite part of this boat is the slide that's off the back of it. But if you look in the lower right hand corner and see that little one there, that's my son learning how to surf in the waves. He was only about 7 years old there, learning how to negotiate the ocean and having just an absolute blast. See something wondrous. It's quite an extraordinary experience to find yourself standing in front of a live volcano. It brings you present to the majesty and the power of the earth and everything around us. And experiencing this kind of event, that kind of a scene with your family, I can speak from my own experience. It really made our family closer, and we're still talking about it, even though this was quite some time ago. What will you learn? What do you want to learn? That's the thing. What do you want to learn? These are vital questions to ask when you're choosing a destination training. Any destination training, regardless of the topic or the profession. How will it benefit my business, my clients, and me in the short term and in the long term? Take an objective view, take a few minutes, and actually write out the answers to these questions for yourself. You want this to be a good fit for you. What kind of return can I create from my investment of time, effort, and money? What are you, from a business standpoint, from a career standpoint, how will what you're learning be of benefit to you? How are you going to make the most of it? Is it a new modality that you're going to put on a menu? Is it a set of business training that's going to help you bring in more clients? Is it mindset work that is going to help you be more calm and make better decisions? And then how are you also going to implement it, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Is the training being held somewhere I would like to visit? Don't go somewhere you don't want to visit just to get the training. The training will be offered somewhere else, I guarantee it. And does the instructor have the credentials, the reputation, and the track record to teach this? There are organizations that offer discounted training and bulk training, so you can take a whole bunch of things at one time and kind of whip through a bunch of training. but you really have to wonder, if the cost is so low, what are they paying their instructors? And if the instructors are willing to work for that little, well, honestly, are they newbies? Are they really qualified to teach, what they're teaching? And are you going to get the same kind of experience as someone who is really an expert and a specialist in this kind of training? And what will you need to do or create after the training is over and you return to business as usual? This is more of your implementation plan. Now, I want to give you a specific insider's look at an upcoming training that I am doing in conjunction with the NIADA Institute of Massage. The NIADA Institute of Massage specializes in destination training, and I know this for certain because before I owned my own practice and started coaching people around the world, I was the Director of Business Development for the NIADA Institute and worked with them for about 10 years. So this was something that the NIADA Institute is known for. So this November, we are offering a combination of the BodySaver Massage training and a Conscious Business Breakthrough Intensive. So for those of you who are looking for continuing education credits are available in Canada and the US in abundance for this particular course. And I'm just going to touch on a few things here briefly about this particular course and then give you more information about destination training in general. BodySaver Massage, for those of you who are not familiar with it, is a full body modality that's based on the principles of longevity. It was developed by Patrick Ingracia. You can see him there in the upper left. And he is known for being an extremely dynamic instructor. His courses are never boring, and he developed the BodySaver massage modality out of his own experiences as a massage therapist, trying to prevent injuries that he had to his thumb many years ago. He is a Thai massage therapist as well as well-versed in shiatsu and all of the Western modalities of massage as well. And he kind of took the best of all of that and combined it into what he calls the principles of longevity for massage therapists. So you'll get to learn how to use those principles to extend your career, become very, very creative in your practice, and use your full body to deliver massage. So you'll get very well versed in how to use your elbows, your forearms, your knuckles, your knees without getting fully on the table. Your feet will not leave the floor in this particular course, so that you can provide a very deep therapeutic massage without injuring your body, using leverage, using body weight, using momentum, using the height of your table. Patrick's an extraordinary instructor, and by the time you're done with this course, you're going to feel like you pretty much have a whole new body and a whole new career. What his clients and what his students say about the difference that this course makes in their overall career is really extraordinary. And Patrick is very well versed in Costa Rica. He has been here at least 10 times and knows the country very well, and he loves showing the country to people because it's one of his favorite places to be. And just a little background on Patrick in general. He has, I believe, a whole 5 DVDs on BodySaver Massage, as well as his other modalities and Thai for the Table and Thai Massage certification. He is the only instructor that teaches Thai for the Table certification where you do not climb on the table with the client. Very important if you're working in a spa environment. He is also an inventor, and you can see one of his inventions in the lower left there, which is the Hot Stone AccuRoller. The Hot Stone AccuRoller is a tool for either self-care or therapeutic work that combines hot stone massage and bamboo or stick massage at the same time, and it's a really cool tool. In this particular training, there'll be also an introduction, an optional introduction to using the Hot Stone AccuRoller. On the flip side, I will be your guide in the Conscious Business Breakthrough Intensive. You can see me there with Patrick in the middle. Just a little inside information. Patrick is my father, and the NIADA Institute of Massage is a family business. We've owned family businesses for 4 generations. So as an entrepreneur myself, I bring to the table that background as well as my training as a therapist and about 20 years of experience on my own as an entrepreneur and as an educator. I adore the massage industry. It is so unique. I've worked with more than 20 industries, and the massage industry is by far the most unique industry. It's got the most interesting quirks. And over the years, as I've presented at different conferences and spent time with the AMTA and the ABMP and the World Massage Conference and working with One Concept and all of the organizations on the business side of things, my appreciation for the intricacies of being successful in the massage industry never really wavers. I am an author as well as a business coach, and I love to bring together the visionary aspect of business as well as the practical application. So in the Conscious Business Breakthrough Intensive, you're going to be learning how to have your business deeply resonate with who you are and the difference you want to make in the world. You're going to get very specific, more specific than you've ever been before, about the type of clients that you can really serve and how to attract them to you, how to have marketing that isn't sleazy, that comes from the heart and soul, and how to choose your marketing venues carefully so that you're making the most of your time and money, just like I want you to make the most of your time and money with destination training. My specialty is working mostly with very small businesses, usually solo entrepreneurs, because our time is a non-renewable resource. And I've used this work on myself, of course, and that's why I get to live in Costa Rica and help people create what I call their oasis-based business, even if you don't live in a tropical location. My commitment is that your business is an oasis for you, someplace you go to be refreshed, as well as your clients and customers. And we're going to cover a lot of information on how to do that on the inside, as well as a lot of external techniques for you to work with your business. And again, I'll provide some links so you can find out more about that at the end of this video. And now we're at the end of the video. Okay, you can find more resources and information at the links below, and you can also reach out directly to myself and to Patrick and Gracia to find more information out about this particular destination training or other destination trainings in general. We really welcome your questions. You can reach me specifically through my office at info@thisistinadietz.com, and for the NIADA Institute of Massage, you can reach Patrick through his office at info@niadausa.com. That information is below the video. Check it out. Check out the frequently asked questions pages to find out some more information about traveling in Costa Rica, as well as the course description page to find out more about this specific course. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being committed to breaking out and doing something new and having a great life and a great practice. I know that if you're out there and you're listening to this, you're the kind of person who loves to make a difference for people. And I appreciate you for making the world a better place through your actions. Pura vida.
We love Costa Rica! We are Tina Dietz's children. Yay! I'm Evelyn Dietz.
And I'm Sebastian Dietz.
And we are very proud of our mother.
And we hope you enjoy your